the planet, all of those, you start looking at the planet from a higher perspective. Simone?
I want to ask you a question.
Absolutely.
How is it possible? Because I had an experience in relationships where actually you can use the emotional intelligence of both the parties to come to the solution of a problem. Because sometimes it feels that there is I don't know if you ever felt that there is like a weird energy between two people.
Yeah.
And before it was all love, and then you get to the point where it's like there is something missing now.
Okay.
So how would you use your emotional intelligence in that case where there are two parties?
Absolutely. I mean, I had, about 2 months ago, I came from Germany. I was actually staying with a family with 2 kids in their existing marriage and 2 kids from previous marriage. And there was exactly that tension. So, when we're looking at any form of tension, how many of you have been in those situations when you have tensions with people? Okay. What is the first thing that you guys think when you have tension with somebody? Uncomfortable? What else?
Yes.
Simone? What is the first thing when you have that tension? Unspoken communication? What was it for you? The first thing you thought about that tension? What was the first thought that came to you?
What's going on?
What's going on?
What's different? Why is different?
Okay?
So really judging
in that moment when we actually do what's going on, everything else, we're seeking for an answer. Yes? But when we seek for an answer, we're also seeking for validation. They go hand by hand. An evolved human being communicates freely. From a perspective, Simone just gave me the example. It's about when we are in a situation of cause and effect. Stimulus and response. But there's another thing. I will talk about it shortly. I'll come back to you on that one as well. So when it comes to that, the first thing when we have people in tension, I would suggest if there's no open communication, walk away. Because just dying for that answer to feed your ego, whether you are right or wrong, will not do anything to that situation. But if two people are conscious and say, okay, we're both conscious, we both have feelings, we're both feeling a space that there's tension in here, let's talk about it. I'm all about it. But I will not endorse anybody to force their communication on anybody.
Yeah, I can relate with that. I mean, I'm very lucky now that I have a very conscious relationship.
Brilliant.
And we are there and we know that we have feelings and we really spend time and dig deep into that and say, okay, why is it coming from? But before, I felt that, I don't know if any of you have felt that one, where you are in this relationship or also with a friend and then you want to say, okay, so what's
But that's that? You want, that's your ego.
That's the ego that wants, so that's where it comes from.
Yes,
so it's my ego that wants the answer.
Absolutely.
What's going on?
That's why I said earlier on, it's basically,
okay.
we're not respecting the free will. The free will of each individual on our planet. Just the way each one of us is born with free will, each person has the free will, whether they want to engage or not. If they're not ready to engage, just by asking the question, you actually control it. So it's control. When we let go control, Pete?
I was going to ask, how do you, if you're in a situation where you want to communicate then, if you can't ask the question of let's talk about this, how would you then?
Well, it's for you to assess. So you know, the best you know whether this person is ready for you to communicate.
Okay.
Your heart will know. I can guarantee you, your heart will know.
Okay.
So if you look at your heart and you look to another human being, they're no different to you, my friend. If you drop your ego and you look at them with your loving eyes, they will share with you anything they need to share. But when you look at another being, there's something wrong with them. They will see something wrong back. But to really adopt what I'm telling you about, it's about really cleaning ourselves, cleaning our energy, and really dropping our ego. Because I have opened the doors that no one has ever opened. And people who know me, they know how fast I grew into my role as a coach in the world. With a very short period where transitioning from a corporate world into being top coach around the world and writing 3 books. requires a lot of process within ourselves. So what really stops any of us, whether it's communication or anything like that, is that process, that time that is required for us to drop our barriers. And to drop your barriers, I will guarantee you can't do it alone. I have 4 people, 4 coaches around them. One of them is here, my vocal coach. I work with 4 people constantly to evolve my consciousness. And some people, even for some of the top coaches around the world, I'm now their coach. I personally believe each human being on this world will benefit from a coach, from a healer, from a therapist, whatever it might be. Because we are all here of service. We cannot be mirror to ourselves. Justin?
Yeah, thank you. You just mentioned a few times about the ego. What would you describe the ego to be?
Interesting. So, for you, for instance, when we even ask the question, there's a different question that comes from the heart, very distant from the ego. So, what does the ego do? That's question number 1. So, I think I explained this to Dr. Boyce in one of our sessions when I was coaching Dr. Boyce. We always have this reciprocity when we actually coach each other. Yes, thank you, Doc. So, let me bring this way so you, Justin, can see, guys. Can you guys see? Yeah? Right. So, when I have spoken and I help people with the ego, there's a whole layer of coaching that I do only on ego. So, if we're looking at what is this? Tree. Okay? Where do you think the ego sits?
In the branches, up in the top.
He thinks it's in here. Anyone else?
At the bottom.
In the root.
Just gonna say it.
Anyone else?
All of it.
All of it? Anywhere else? Grounding? We've got him here. You know the answer.
In the ear.
What's that?
In the ear.
In the ear.
In the ear around.
Oh, in the air, okay. In the air. In the air around here. Okay. So I would like you to think now. I would like you to bring this back into yourself. I would like you to think yourself as a tree. Within yourself. I would like you to really imagine now that tree in your body. And I would like you to reflect back now which part of that now you see as your ego. Where would that be located in your body now? If you imagine yourself to be a tree, where would your ego be? Stand up, everybody, please. Stand up. Stand up, everybody. Close your eyes for a second. And I would like you to imagine a little tree growing inside of you. Just start from your feet. Start going up your calves, into your knees, into your thighs. Just imagine the tree growing inside of you. Into your stomach, going up into your lungs, into your throat, and bring it all the way to your head. And then imagine everything growing above your head as well. Now bring that feeling of the tree inside of you. And I would like you now to ask the question, where is my ego? And each one of you, with your eyes closed, put your hand where you think your ego is. Everybody's hands, please. Head. There. Open your eyes. Keep your hands where they are. Keep your hands where they are. Just want to observe. Where's your hand? Here, around your face. Brilliant. Where's yours, Vesna? There. Tekka, in your head. Farham, where is yours? In your head. Emma, where is yours? Over there. Head. Okay. How many had it in their heads? Let me write these numbers down. 1, 2, 3. Where's yours?
I have one here.
Ah, brilliant!
You influenced my
6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 people. 20 people in their heads. In their hearts? 1, 2, how many? There was a few more. 2 people, 3 people in their hearts? 3 people in their hearts. Anywhere else in the space? There was in the space for you? Anyone else in the space? Sorry, what's your name?
Me?
Yes?
David.
David, thank you. Anyone else in the space? Yeah, in the space. Brilliant. So we have 2 above. Okay, you can see that. Would you really like to know where the ego is? Yes?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes! Okay, so what the ego does, it's, think about it, what does our ego do for ourselves? Give me some words in here. Ready?
Motivates.
Motivates, anger, what else?
Armour.
What's that?
Armour.
Karma,
Armour.
armor, okay? Motivates, give me words guys.
Prayed.
What?
Prayed. Prayed.
Pride. What else? Competition. Anger. Eagerness.
Drive.
A what?
Drive.
Drive. What else?
Selfishness.
Selfishness.
Self-destruct.
Self-destruct. What else?
Stubbornness.
Comfort.
Importance.
Important. What else?
Comfort.
Comfort. What else?
Separate us from others.
Separation.
Control.
If you guys were on the sand and you are like me, do you know what you'll be hearing? Yes, no?
No.
No.
That's ego is bad. That's what I'm hearing. Anybody identifies that with me? Okay. So there's a lot of people in here that are thinking one-sided ego. So, talking about separation, I just saw it in reality. Talking about emotional intelligence, I just saw it in reality. How a simple exercise I can reveal where we are. So, if you think about our ego, I will give you the answer. I won't keep you in there because I can run a whole workshop about this. What do roots give us to the tree?
Stability.
Stability. What else?
Nutrition.
Nutrition. What else? Growth. What else? Life. What else? Stability. What else? Significance. But what do our leaves give us? Leaves and the branches in here. What do we get from up here? What does a tree get?
Light.
Oxygen. Light. What else?
Sugars.
Sorry?
Sugars.
Sugars. Sugars. Okay.
Carbon dioxide.
What else? Think about every single fruit you guys eating from a tree. What else?
CO2.
CO2. What else?
The result.
Result. What else?
Growth.
Huh?
Growth.
Growth.
Beauty.
What's that?
Beauty.
Duty.
Shade.
So how many of you now, people who have in their head, think that the ego is in their head? Raise your hands. How many of you still think that? You still thinking that? No one is thinking that anymore? And how many of you still thinking it's in your roots? No one. So what does it leave us with? Trunk. Absolutely spot on. Ego is what keeps you stable, guys. What keeps you growing, but also what keeps you small. It's the two parts of our ego. So there's a healthy ego and there's a very, very bad ego. It's something that separates us. Is that giving you a bit of clarity?
Yeah.
Yeah? So, it's very important to us experience this. We are no different to nature. Without a healthy ego, there's no tree, there's no fruit. A healthy ego cannot be healthy without good nurturing either. But everything else that goes through that is the crap also. It's the combination of the two, which is the creation of life. David?
So I lost the clarity. I don't know what ego is, but I would have thought the fact that I have legs, roots, that's part of who I am, and therefore that's part of my ego, which is also positive. But now you're saying it's not my roots, it's my trunk, and not my roots, so therefore
Ego sits in here.
I thought
It's in
ego
our
was
solar plexus energy. So for anybody who hasn't done any energy work, there's all the information on my website for that. But ego is literally our identity, the thing that we create and bring together.
So part of my identity is my roots.
Okay.
So that's why when you said it's not the roots, I got confused, because if you're saying ego is identity, my roots are part of my identity, my aspirations, beliefs are also part of my identity. And that's why I got confused. I love the question and I love to know what ego is, but that's why I got confused.
Okay. Energetically, when we talk about ego, we have the 7 chakras within our body. And the ego is here, very separate to the nurturing and the roots. Very separate. Because identity that comes from nurturing or from the roots, you could turn around and identify yourself, let's say as a Christian, as a rabbi, as a Muslim, as a black, as a white, as an everything else. But is that what you are? Question for you to think about it. So there's an ego that actually comes, which is built through our own identity, and there's a higher perspective of your higher self and your soul. Because the higher self and your soul, and the spiritual teaching that I do, and I actually leave my body quite a lot every night. For you guys who are interested in that, by all means you can approach me. But when you go into out-of-body experience, and you start really connecting to the spirit world, and experiencing the spirit world as I'm experiencing each one of you in here, and teaching in the spirit world, you'll actually let go quite a lot of the identity that we've built on our planet. And you start connecting to the essence of your own source energy. And you start changing, you start bringing that awareness, that awakening that happens with each one of us that created a specific identity about something. And you start to let go. And you start embracing the universal energy that is. It simply is. And you do not disconnect yourself from the collective consciousness. And you see yourself as part of oneness, and not a separation that we've identified ourselves with something. And we've built a very strong identity around that. But that's another teachings. So, the 4 branches of the emotional intelligence, you can actually use my model earlier on, and you can go into perceiving emotion, facilitating thought with emotion, understanding the emotion, and managing the emotion. You can actually go to each layer and dig deep how you can actually do that. So in here I just kept a very close relationship, what it actually relates with emotional intelligence, and how can you use the 5-step methodology. But that 5-step, it's only part of the 25-step which I talk about in the book. So the book, for any of you who's reading it, it's not one of those books you just read. It's actually taking it paragraph by paragraph, question by questions, and do a self-reflection within yourself. So that actually builds that emotional intelligence. So ability to identify emotions, faces, pictures, and all of those things, you can actually increase your ability, things that are well hidden within yourself. So in summary, what I would say to you, each one of you, it's almost like a hidden ship. Hidden ship that has most amazing qualities, even to fly, which is out-of-body experiences, which nobody has actually taught us. So, emotional awareness, this is the part of the methodology, when you're actually applying that only to emotions. My methodology is designed for you to apply to anything, whether it's your emotion, your job, your spirituality, your mental, your physical body, your home, your relationships, or your business, your career, or your money. So you can actually adopt that methodology to virtually expand your consciousness in 8 key areas of your life. So, the second part is about becoming aware of the connection between your feelings, your thought, and your actions in those emotions. The third part is recognize how feelings affect you in all key areas of your life. It's not about just when the emotion is bang bang with another person, but in everything that you are doing. So, and understanding how everything you do is guided by your values. So each one of us have set unique values. So, talking about the earlier on, what I teach quite a lot with all of my clients is about the link between the stimulus and response. What people in generally do, they do not allow themselves the space that exists between the stimulus and the response to do a self-reflection and understand all the information and all the options that exist in one tool. We had a recent thing with Adam, we shared quite freely when his ego was challenged in my presence, and I brought him to a space where he could really understand his own behavior, that he did not look at many options. Because sometimes we feel we only have one choice. And yet we live in a universe with billions amounts of information, and choices and possibilities. So, when we actually have a high emotional intelligence, we actually become extremely social. We have retainability. Everybody wants us around. Your employers, your jobs, friends, and everything else. We actually, research proves, we live longer. So our emotions helps us to really bring our life back into balance. We become extremely successful in whatever area we choose. We become very grounded. So whatever we have to give to the world, it's a very grounded energy. It's not like flying energy and people look at you and say, wow, there is no substance to you. You actually have substance about yourself. You become balanced in the way you live your life, in the way you feel within yourself. You become extremely heart-centered when you open your heart, not just to you. As my Call for Love song says, for everybody, your heart simply shines. You start to communicate your message better. You start to be very assertive. You know exactly what you want and you will not compromise for less. So you're not going to go for jobs that do not honor your values, Maria. So you become ambitious, you are driven, you are strong-willed, warm, enthusiastic, sociable, charming, persuasive, patient. You become very, very stable. You become very predictable as well. It goes with that. And you become consistent in the way you do things, in the way you feel things, the way you act things, and you actually become a very good listener. While you speak, you can listen instantly. I'm observing each one of you in any moment in time. And you become very detailed and thorough in your work. You are also very careful. You're not doing the stupid mistakes and meeting people and knowing 3 months down the line it's not going to work out. You actually become, straight away, in the first 1 minute, you know whether there will be a relationship. You become very systematic and you are also very neat. So those are all the most amazing things that you guys get as you work within yourself and you raise your bar on emotional intelligence. Your relationship with your emotions, it truly determines who owns your future. No one else, guys. When I understood this, I opened up a whole universe of opportunities and possibilities within my life. So, it's very important to understand the emotional intelligence. It's not the opposite of intelligence. It is not the triumph of heart or head. It is the unique intersection of both. We need our intellect, we need our hearts. So, this is something you can guys have later on, but you can have it, I've drawn it into mind maps. And really, I will give it to you. For any of you who emails me, I will send you these guys. But I just wanted to make a bit of laughing there, and all the different things that we get as a response of emotional intelligence. And you can take this, apply it into your life. It's an amazing tool for you guys to assess yourselves and really to take it early on. We can apply one of them later on when we do the exercise after this talk. And your emotional internal guidance system determines whether you agree or disagree with something. So next time you get challenged by something, look within and see why are you really doing that? Why are you agreeing or why are you disagreeing? And my method in general, what you're seeing right now, is only a glimpse of the entire method. So the entire method is written in the book, and each one of them takes you through layers and deeper layers about love, about achievement, about results, miracles, all designed to help you trust yourself, bring your life into balance, become authentic in who you are, not who you've been taught to be. There's a difference. And actually become clear about the direction and the vision and the purpose that you guys have. So, question to clarity. So I would like to thank you, first of all, for listening and being here.
Well, everyone, please give Tony a massive round of applause. That has been exceptional. I mean, the depth that he covered every single step is remarkable. And this is what I really like about Tony, because you see that there are a lot of coaches out there that what they do is that they touch the surface. But it's when you go really deep down that the change happens. So I'm sure that tonight you got something to reflect on and some tools that you can use as well in your day-to-day life. Whether it be your personal life or relationship. So now I want just a couple of sharings here, like what is the most important thing that you've learned tonight? Just from a couple of people. Yes, what's your name?
Esther.
Esther, hi.